Senator Ted Cruz from the great state of Texas to come in and weigh in on health care. Will it get passed?
Look, I hope so. It needs to. We've been promising this for 7 years. What the president said last week is exactly right, that since Obamacare passed, Republicans have been telling the American people, if you elect us, we'll get rid of this. And we made that promise over and over again. We said, give us the House. They did. We said, give us the Senate. The voters did. We said, give us the White House. I mean, we've got to deliver now. And so I believe we can get to yes. I think there is a path to get to yes. I think we're close. I think there's a lot of common ground. There are a handful of holdouts still, but I believe we can come together. I think we have to.
So you're at the center of this debate. Of course, on Wednesday, you're going to unveil your amendment, the Cruz amendment, which would, as according to the HHS, would lower premiums, boost enrollment. You're getting some pushback from moderate Republicans in that area. You authored this amendment would allow insurers to sell plans that do not comply with Obamacare mandates. Is that the path to success?
It's exactly, I think, the path to success. What I've been urging my colleagues, the way we come together, the way we bring together senators all across the ideological spectrum, is focus on lowering premiums. That the biggest reason people are unhappy with Obamacare is that it's made their premiums skyrocket. You know, I hear this in Texas all the time where Texans say, I can't afford health insurance anymore. And if we're lowering premiums, that's a win for everyone. Now, how do you do that? You lower premiums through more competition, more choices, more options, and more freedom. And so the amendment that I've introduced that is in the base bill is called the Consumer Freedom Amendment. And what it says is you, the consumer, should have the freedom, the power to choose the health insurance you want. If you want to buy a plan subject to all the Obamacare mandates, you can buy that. They'll be on the market. They'll be offered. That choice is there for you. But you should also have the choice to buy other plans that are not mandated by the federal government. And as you noted, HHS studied it, put out a study this weekend that concluded the Consumer Freedom Amendment would expand coverage by over 2 million people. More than 2 million people would get coverage because of it. And in addition to that, it would drive down premiums $7,000 a year. That's a lot of money for a family that's struggling.
Right.
Absolutely. But, Senator, you know, folks out there watching right now, they're frustrated.
Yes.
And what really bugged them this week was the fact that because you're going back to Mitch McConnell next week would like to hold a vote. It is uncertain because of John McCain's situation. Yeah. It's the same bill. What was it? 49 of the senators voted for a couple of years ago. And so this week, then 4 of them said, you know what, we're going to have to be no's. But it's like you voted yes before, but that was at a time when you knew your vote didn't count. Now it counts, and they've turned tail. People are steamed at that.
Look, for good reason. We should be frustrated because we have politicians who campaign promising one thing and then they do something different in office. And what I'm urging my colleagues is it's not rocket science. It's let's do what we said we would do. Let's just follow through on that commitment. And if you look at Obamacare is a disaster and getting worse every day. The exchanges are collapsing. People, it's the biggest job killer in the country. People are losing their jobs. People are forced into part-time work.
Doctors are dropping out.
Doctors are dropping out. Premiums have risen over $5,000 a year. That's why consumer freedom is so important. Instead of a $5,000 increase, which is what Obamacare has given you, consumer freedom gives you a $7,000 decrease.
Is the president doing enough to support this? Have you had a discussion with the president on your amendment?
I've had many discussions with the president, and he has been very productive, very helpful. He hosted the Senate Republican Conference at the White House this week, and his message was real simple. Get it done. Stop messing around. Stop bickering. Come together and get it done. And I think that can happen. You know, starting back in February, I joined up with Lamar Alexander, a much more moderate Republican from Tennessee. The two of us brought together an Obamacare working group of senators across the ideological spectrum. And we began meeting in my office every week. Initially 6 senators. We met every week in my office, trying to come to common ground, trying to say, okay, how do we get this done? We may have differences, but where do we agree? And I think that group, it made progress. It was expanded. It's what led to the bill we have now. And we've probably got, I'd say, 45 or 46 yeses now. We're close. And it's just, it's a handful of no's right now who I think that they're going to get to yes. I think they have to. I don't know how you face the people who elected you when you don't even vote to take up the bill.
Are you worried about that? Because you're up for re-election in 2018?
Yeah,
Are senators worried about that? Because constituents are going to remember this when they go to the polls.
Look, if they're not, they should be. You are exactly right that the voters should hold us accountable. I've said many times, if we fail to get this done, I think collectively Republicans, we look like fools. I mean, you can't have your central promise for 7 years be, we'll repeal Obamacare, and then you show up and vote not even to take up the bill to consider repealing Obamacare. That doesn't make any sense.
Well said.
All right. Get something done. Go do your job, as Kellyanne Conway just said.
Here.
Senator